Support comes from the Missouri Forest Products Association, saluting Earth Day on April 22nd with an ongoing commitment to help offset carbon emissions with sustainable harvesting of Missouri forests. Details at choosewood.com.
This is St. Louis on the Air from St. Louis Public Radio. I'm Elaine Cha. The St. Louis Symphony Orchestra's 144th season gets underway later this week. There's the ceremonial start to the season with a free concert in Forest Park this Thursday. And, especially this year, the start of the season away from Powell Hall sets the tone because for the foreseeable future, the SLSO will perform away from its home as Powell Hall undergoes renovation and expansion. We'll talk much more about that and where the orchestra will play a bit later, but for now, back to the music. This Saturday, the classical season gets underway and the concert features renowned violinist Hilary Hahn as soloist in Felix Mendelssohn's Violin Concerto. Here's the SLSO performing that piece in 2021 with the orchestra's second associate concertmaster, Celeste Golden Andrews. Again, that's the SLSO performing Mendelssohn's Violin Concerto. That piece is included in the season-opening classical concert later this month. With me today is SLSO Music Director Stéphane Denève. Welcome to the studio.
Thank you very much. Nice to be here.
And SLSO President and CEO Marie-Hélène Bernard is here too. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
So let's start first, Stéphane, with you. The season will begin with violinist Hilary Hahn. This is a big deal. How excited are you about that?
I'm extremely excited because I love her and she's not been here for 21 years. So it's really a great treat that she is back here in St. Louis. I've been performing all over the world with her. I did perform often. I actually performed this Mendelssohn Violin Concerto with her, and I can say that she is incredible in this piece. Really special, very fairy, as she looks sometimes as well. And that will go well with the rest of the program, which is about magic.
Mm-hmm. Always room for magic. So you will be opening the season at Stifel Theater, and then the following week you're at the Two Hill Performing Arts Center on the campus of the University of Missouri, St. Louis. And Stifel and Two Hill are the two main venues for this year. And the Two Hill concert features the first of Beethoven's 5 piano concertos. The SLSO will perform all of Beethoven's piano concertos this season. Why is that?
Because I thought it would be great to have a way to have a musical journey all over the season with something very special. And those piano concertos are amazing. They're all so different from one another, and they really show a development of Beethoven during his life. Also, they really transition from a more classical Haydn, Mozart style to really the big titanesque fight between an orchestra and a romantic soloist that is, at the end, the Emperor Concerto, the fifth one. So I think it will be very exciting to have this musical journey, especially because we have 5 very different pianists from style and from generations. So I think that will be a good way to see what the world has to offer today as great Beethovenian pianists.
Mm-hmm. Now, the last time that you and I spoke on the air was in March, and that was when you were in Spain. And this was toward the end of SLSO's Europe tour. And you had told us then that every hall you played in is like a different instrument. And I mentioned in the introduction that the orchestra is playing away from Powell Hall this season and in several different places. How are you approaching that?
Well, my goal is to really allow the very special, warm American sound of the SLSO to be heard and in different acoustics. And it's fantastic to see that the soul of the orchestra is still there as unique in different instruments, indeed, that all are. So I'm very happy in a way that we've been trained by the tour to play in different halls, and that's what we will do this season. We will be in 2 homes away from home that have different acoustic, and we will be, I think, trying to continue to offer the same magical sound, I insist, that the SLSO is doing, because there's nothing better than listening to music live. And we welcome people really to hear all the variety of music that we propose normally. There will be film, there will be new music, there will be classical music, romantic music, there will be educational programs. I mean, everything we do usually in Powell Hall will be on display in all the different halls, and also with our choruses. You know, I love the St. Louis Symphony Chorus and In Unison Chorus, and I'm so happy that we have some big projects with the chorus in Stifel.
So very dynamic, it sounds like. Marie-Hélène, Powell Hall has been SLSO's first permanent home, and that was in 1968. And this is the first time in its 55 years since you'll be playing the entire season somewhere else. Can you remind us, what is it that is happening at Powell Hall?
We are partly transforming Powell Hall. First, it includes an expansion. So we're doubling the size of the hall, creating a backstage, an education learning center, and a new lobby space to allow for more restrooms. And so better visitors experience and better experience for artists. But everything we love about Powell Hall is being preserved and renovated. So replacement of seats and updated lighting and things like this. So this is what's happening. And really to create a center for music. Powell Hall is considered one of the finest concert halls in the country. St. Louis Symphony Orchestra is definitely one of the leading American orchestras. So I think after 55 years, Stifel was our home from 1934 until 1967. So it's interesting to go back to what a lot of St. Louisans know at Kiel Theater, which is not Stifel. And the University of Missouri in St. Louis is a presenting sponsor of the 23-24 season, and we're deeply grateful for Chancellor Sobolik and her team for making To Hill available to us. And the space is a little more intimate, so that's why the Beethoven Piano Concerti are presented at To Hill in a slightly more intimate environment. And again, great versatility from our orchestra under Stéphane's leadership, so they're able to adapt to both venues.
Now, the reopening of Powell Hall is slated for 2025. As with any kind of renovation with buildings, sometimes it is a moving date.
Yes.
But is the thinking that Powell Hall's reopening at that time, that it would coincide with the start of the 2025-26 season?
That's the plan, but we're still pretty flexible with plans because it's a little too early. We're on schedule, but I think at this time next year we'll have a very good sense of exactly how we are going to unfold our return to the hall. Community is very important to us. Audiences are our number one priority. Of course, when Stéphane and his team program, it's with the audience in mind. And I know the orchestra is going to be delighted to be back and it's going to allow us to do a lot more programming. So we're very excited.
And was there by any chance a delay in the start of these renovations? I mean, people are now starting to come back out to things because the pandemic is over. Has the timing been affected at all by that?
No, the program, the project is on time, and it began actually when we thought it would begin like 5 years ago.
Oh, okay.
When the project is completed in 25, it will have been 10 years to the beginning of my tenure, and when the board started looking at the possibility of renovating and expanding Powell Hall. And that's usually what it takes. Projects of that magnitude take almost a decade. So now we started on time, and of course the only thing we couldn't predict was COVID, right? So we don't control this, and obviously it has impacted the construction industry because labor shortage, like in other industries, and we see it in our industry, has been really influenced by the pandemic. But right now we're moving ahead as planned.
So as you move ahead, insofar as the music goes,
Yes.
Marie-Hélène, what is it that excites you most about the music that the orchestra will be performing this season?
I think it's the spirit with which Stéphane and his musicians come together to play for audiences. And Stéphane mentioned the live experience, and we really want people to really make this an experience from the heart. And we want them to come and enjoy it for what it is to them. That you don't need a special knowledge or special preparation. We are, radically welcoming them to the venues, and also making plans for them to make it easy when it comes to parking or tickets or things like that. So, and the information is online, and they should always call us. If there's any question, if they go on the website, it's not clear, I urge them to call us. We have a whole team of people who are here to help, and I really want them to pick up the phone and call us. And it's nice to talk to people.
Yes, it is.
And then we'll have an army of symphony volunteer on site and musicians, and we'll create a lot of community events to really support this. We understand that it's somewhat disruptive. We all love Powell Hall. It's easy to get there. We know where to park. So there's going to be a slight adjustment. And we want to hear the good and the bad. That if people have an experience they feel should be improved, they should call us after the fact and say, watch this, watch that.
I love the warmth of this community, and it is reflected in the volunteers that are wonderful, and the whole staff is so great. And I'm so pleased that, my vision is to make music always more accessible. And for instance, parking can be an issue, and I'm so pleased that the staff has organized some shuttle service that will allow people to come easily and enjoy every venue in an easy way.
Those things really do make a big difference in who can come and who will enjoy. And I think this is also something that is relevant to the pieces that will become that is part of SLSO's repertoire. And throughout this season, more than 18 pieces are pieces that are by living composers, which is something that you don't see as much, right, through orchestras in the country. What was the thinking behind that, Stéphane?
Oh, it's a very simple fact, which is we are very lucky. There is a lot of great music being written today. And the art form, the symphonic world, is very alive. And so I just want to show to people some love I have for some composers and some new pieces. And it's well integrated. I give you an example. Our first concert in Tuil will have the Coriolan Overture by Beethoven, followed without interruption by Unsung Chin, a Korean composer, piece called Subito con Forza, which is inspired by Beethoven and offer a kind of dialogue between his style and the style of today, and of her style of today. And this is, for me, the most important thing is just to deliver the good news that there is really a lot of music today that our people play that can really move, to the heart on the first hearing. And you don't need to be prepared. You don't need to be scared. Just come, listen, and I usually speak a little bit to introduce the music, to explain it, to say why I love it, and it's fantastic to just show that this art form is alive.
Right, and that's 18 new pieces that will enter SLSO's repertoire, about half by living composers. Now, Stéphane, you'll also be working with many non-white performers. Is that something SLSO prioritized, or is it a reflection of the vibrant sort of classical music that you're talking about today?
Well, I'm delighted that in the recent years we have been able to just think about what we can do to reflect the community we are in, and the SLSO has always been doing a lot of great efforts to show this diversity, and we have actually a wonderful chorus, which I love, conducted by Kevin Macbeth, the In Unison chorus that already from long time ago just started this effort, and it's just becomes more and more natural, which is great. I think it's fantastic that there is a new generation of composers, for instance, people that Jessie Montgomery that you will see in the program, and many others during the jazz festival. We have a wonderful jazz festival that include as well black artists, and it's just there's a new generation of composers that compose wonderful music, and it's then just the right curiosity. You just have to search for it and you will find it. And we did find some great repertoire. So I'm happy it will be programmed this year in many concerts.
Now, Marie-Hélène, in addition to the orchestra being on the road, you were talking earlier about the primacy of community. And there are a number of other ways the symphony is going to be in the community.
Absolutely.
There's a 5-concert chamber music series in collaboration with the Sheldon, a collaboration with the Big Muddy Dance Company, and a family concert next month that involves the St. Louis Zoo called A Zoo Called Earth, that is. What is behind all these events?
So the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra has had decades of great partnerships with local organizations, local artists. So it's continuing the spirit of us being in the community. That's always been the spirit with which we've approached these collaborations. We wanted to have a presence in Grand Center. So a while back, I reached out to my colleague at the Sheldon, Peter Palermo, to say, let's give a platform to our musicians. There's so much chamber music we never hear, and ask them to curate this experience. And same with all the community programs we're doing. Tuesday, the 26th of September, we will be at the Holocaust Museum, exploring music by Powell Hall, who was a forgotten composer from the era, the Second World War. And then, so just to go back to what Stéphane was saying about the diversity of music, of experiences, is to really stretch the boundaries of symphonic music, going back, but also looking ahead, and really being very intentional about the music that is rarely heard or that we don't know about, which is, it's all about storytelling as well. So our community programs are very important to that.
Okay, I definitely can get down with the storytelling. Yes. Stéphane, tell us about the collaboration with Big Muddy Dance Company.
Yes, it has started with a wonderful piece by Anna Klein called Dance, and that opened our season last year. And Kevin Dorit Boyd is a wonderful man and very creative, and I was so pleased that he was willing to work on a very recent piece, that was composed in the last years, and the result was fantastic. It was really a great moment of fusion between the two arts, the music and the dance, and I think for dancers to dance on live music played at this level, of course, with our orchestra, was also a pleasure. So, not to sound too American, it was really a win-win situation.
Okay.
and that's why we will continue this year and other years. I mean, I really think it's wonderful to unite the different art forms.
Where is that happening again?
This is happening at Stifel.
And do you think people will dance?
Well, we can make them too.
We can make them dance. Indeed.
Sure.
Everybody should dance. Really.
Yeah. So, I mean, along with these community collaborations that you're doing, you have someone who is world famous coming and perhaps could be the most famous classical musician in the world. And he is returning for the first time in a decade, and that is cellist Yo-Yo Ma. And he's coming on May 3rd to Stifel. An Evening with Yo-Yo Ma brings him into St. Louis for the first time, as I said, 10 years. 2013 was the last time he was here, and he will perform Elgar's cello concerto. Stéphane, what is your relationship with Yo-Yo Ma like?
I'm very lucky. I think we can call each other friends. He's so warm, he's so unique, and he carries all the best values about music. His generosity is infinite. And I'm so happy that he's coming to play the Elgar concerto, which is really a big, wonderful, romantic concerto. I've been performing with him quite a lot, and I have to say, he's bigger than life. Each time it's memorable. And I was recently with him in Miami, actually, and he was an inspiration for every young musician that approached him. That's wonderful. But our season, I have to say, I'm so proud. We have so many amazing artists. I mean, you spoke about Hilarion opening the season, Augustine Hadelich. I mean, so many wonderful artists will be there, great singers. So, yeah, there will be a lot of events, but we will crown them with Yo-Yo Ma.
Stéphane Denève is music director of the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra, and Marie-Hélène Bernard is president and CEO. Marie-Hélène and Stéphane, thank you so much for joining us today and giving us a little bit of a preview of what's coming.
Thank you.
Thank you, Elaine. Thank you.
Today's episode was produced by our executive producer, Alex Hoyer.
Audio engineering and podcast design by Aaron Dorr.
St. Louis on the Air is a production of St. Louis Public Radio. Understanding starts here.
St. Louis on the Air proudly supports local artists by using music from Life Creative Group.
Do you find yourself regularly listening to episodes of St. Louis on the Air? Suggest us to a friend you think might enjoy our conversations. And leave us a review and rating on Apple Podcasts on the App Store. It's the simplest way to help people discover our show. Thanks.
St. Louis Public Radio is a member-supported service of the University of Missouri St. Louis.
Support comes from the Missouri Forest Products Association, saluting Earth Day on April 22nd with an ongoing commitment to help offset carbon emissions with sustainable harvesting of Missouri forests. Details at choosewood.com.